Michigan State University President Samuel L. Stanley Jr., MD, joins me on MSU Today to elaborate on topics he covers in his September 2022 Spartan Community Letter, which you can read by clicking on the Communications tab at president.msu.edu. And President Stanley, a new semester and academic year are well underway as MSU welcomed more than 9,800 incoming students to campus, our largest and one of our most diverse incoming groups ever. And our first Spartan Family Weekend we just had this weekend. How did that go?
Well, that went very well. So people were really excited about it. And I had a chance to meet with several families, including one from California, that had come all the way to see their sophomore, essentially, during that event. So it was great. And we're so excited about this class. As you said, Russ, this is the largest class we've had coming in. We also had 1,400 transfer students coming in, which is also the largest. So there's a lot of new individuals coming to the campus, and I know people have reached out and made sure they felt welcome, and they're hitting their stride. We're already actually a quarter of the way through the semester. So they're already getting exposed, I think, to what college life is like. And I think they're enjoying themselves at Michigan State University from every account that I can see.
That's great.
I think one of the things I've enjoyed the most is the chance to speak individually with students and their parents and talk to them about what made them choose MSU. And I think the different reasons in terms of the breadth of the kind of things we offer, the programs we have available that few places can match, and of course the campus itself, which I think that's been looking spectacular these past few days. All of that, I think, is creating an environment where people want to come and learn, explains our record application numbers, and explains the kind of continued growth we're having. And I think that's a great thing because I think the world needs more Spartans. So I'm glad we're admitting more to come.
Here, Spartans will. And you also, speaking of Spartans, congratulated and welcome back to campus Draymond Green and other 2022 inductees to the MSU Athletics Hall of Fame. What struck you about this year's inductees coming in the 50th anniversary year of Title IX?
Well, I think one of the things that stood out, of course, was this is the first time in the Hall of Fame's induction history that we had more women than men in the inductees. And so that was fantastic. And I had a chance to meet with each and every one of them to hear the stories about their accomplishments at Michigan State University, but particularly also to learn the amazing things they've done since they graduated from Michigan State University. So they're famous, of course, for their athletic exploits on the fields, but also for what they've done after as well. And many of them are distinguished coaches. Some of them have gone into business and had spectacular careers, but all of them, I think, brought back this incredible commitment to Michigan State University and as student athletes, the unique perspective they had on life at that time and what they went through and the lessons they learned as part of being a student athlete in MSU were all, I think, abundantly clear in the presentation. So it was great. And I got to meet Draymond Green. I'd met him before, but I got to spend more time with him. What a remarkable individual, so dedicated to Michigan State University and so close, of course, to Coach Izzo. And so it was a pleasure to have a chance to spend time with him and get a picture with him, which my kids had requested that I do, and he was gracious enough to do that. So I'm a fan like everybody else, and I really enjoyed it.
And you also hosted faculty, staff, and friends of the Michael and Elaine Serling Institute for Jewish Studies in Modern Israel at Cole's House to celebrate that institute's 30th anniversary. It's one of those institutes we seem to have so many, President Stanley, tucked away into colleges, really doing the land grant work every day.
It was a great event, and Michael and Elaine have been extraordinary supporters of the center and the institute that bears their name, and not just through their treasure, but through their time as well. They've been very much engaged. And it really is a multidisciplinary center. So really, as you said, Russ, crosses multiple colleges. In fact, there's 3 different colleges on its advisory board, deans from 3 different colleges on its advisory board. And they're doing great academic work, but also doing things to, again, promote the experience of Jewish faculty and staff on our campus and students on our campus. And I think they're looking out for the community, our whole community, and wonderful partners with us as we work to make this a more welcoming and inclusive campus. And so I appreciate their efforts on that as well.
And earlier you mentioned the quality of MSU's academic programs. And once again, that's underscored by new rankings showing advancement among the nation's top 100 colleges and public universities. Our undergraduate supply chain management program remains #1 for the 12th consecutive year, and the university records 40 programs in the U.S. News and World Report Top 25. It's just an ongoing testament to our world-class faculty and commitment to excellence and impact in all we do, isn't it?
Well, it's always wonderful to talk about the rankings when you go up, and I think those are all very good things. And of course, as you know, we went up from 83 to 77 nationally. That's our highest score in 7 years, and so we're very pleased about that. And I think that reflects the progress we've been making. Peer reputation was really one of the categories that really raised us up. So our peers are recognizing the exciting things we're doing at MSU, and that's wonderful. And as you said, the breadth of our excellence is amazing. To have 40 programs in the top 25 is spectacular, and we need to get more there. We need to keep those 40 there, and we need to add more, because I think we have the capacity through our scope and scale to have outstanding programs in multiple disciplines. We're going to continue to push that. So my congratulations to the 40 who are there, and to those who are just below, let us know what you need so we can push you up and get you in that exalted territory of the top 25 as well.
And as part of the stewardship and sustainability theme in MSU Strategic Plan 2030, we welcome the addition of 40 new electric vehicles to the university fleet in collaboration with our friends at Consumers Energy, as we make our commitment to sustainable goals part of our everyday operations. And MSU is also helping lead the way and support Michigan in our mobility future, including work on improving lithium batteries. And I know we highlighted some of that with our URC partners at the auto show, but just your thoughts on sort of the electrification of our fleet and our work on this mobility future we're all anticipating.
So we're one of the leading schools in the country and top of the Big Ten for work we're doing in sustainability. And we're very proud of that. And the electrification of our fleet is a big part of what we're doing next. And so I think we've got 40, as you said, out of about roughly 360, I believe, something in that number that we need to replace. So this is a great start. My vehicle I replaced in leasing with an electric vehicle. So I now have one and driving it. So I've had a chance to experience it, and it's a lot of fun to drive and a little different to drive. And so I encourage people to check these vehicles out. And of course, we even have some that'll be doing utility work as well as police work on campus. So there's one of the electric vehicles that'll be a police car. And so we're excited about that. In terms of the auto show, that was spectacular. I got to meet students from Michigan State University, but also from our University University Research Corridor partners, and so from U of M as well as Wayne State, and I got to talk to all of them. They all had great exhibits. We had our AdaptTech bus there that's doing amazing things. Our electric autonomous bus was there, and I had a chance to talk to the people who were involved in that company and work as well. And I think, this is the future, and we're seeing the transformation taking place across the country, and I think it's great that MSU can be at the forefront of this.
And you recently wrote, sir, in an earlier message to our campus community regarding your contract conversations with the Board of Trustees. Can you share some of those thoughts here? And also, what perfect timing now that October is Relationship Violence and Sexual Assault Awareness Month, where we can reflect on MSU's many accomplishments in this critical area.
Well, as you said, Russ, I wanted to reach out to the campus community. There's been a lot of uncertainty and concern about contract negotiations and discussions between the board and I. But I just want to make this very clear. I've greatly appreciate all the expressions of support I've had from so many different people on campus, distinguished professors, different groups. I'm very, very grateful for that. And I can't tell you how much it means to me. But I'm also very proud of what we've accomplished together. Particularly including advancing my overarching priority of building a university that is safe, welcoming, and supportive of all of its people. And so as we think about the RVSM and Sexual Assault Awareness Month next month, I think I'm proud to reflect on what we've done, as you said, and we have a lot of positive actions in this area. So I encourage people to go to my remarks on the Board of Trustees I made last month, where I really summarized, and you can see written out, some of the things we've done. It's not an exhaustive list, actually, but it points out how high a priority this has been for my administration and how we continue to work to do better in these areas. It's process improvement always. We can always find ways to do some things better, but the commitment is there, I can tell you, from me and from the senior leadership of the university to get work done here.
And I think you'd like to encourage Spartans and everyone to make their plan to vote in the November 8th election.
For sure. This is our civic duty and privilege to be able to vote. It's one that I think, exhibited and done every year since I turned 18. Which was a long time ago, but I've continued doing that. And I think, as you said, Russ, it's important not just to register. That's step one, But step two is actually have a plan of how you're going to vote. If you're working, how you're going to get time off, where's your polling place, what ID do you need, just making sure that everything is set for that. I find it easiest to vote by mail. That's what's worked for me and made it easier for me to vote since I came to Michigan. But whatever way you choose, register and get out the vote. This is the way I really believe that old saw that it's difficult to complain about stuff if you didn't vote. You can't complain about your leaders if you didn't vote. If you voted and the person didn't want, won, okay, understood. But, don't complain if you didn't vote.
And I assume you might also want to encourage a COVID booster and a flu shot this fall.
Just got them yesterday for myself. My arms are still a little stiff, but otherwise doing okay. And absolutely, we know these boosters help prevent hospitalization and help prevent deaths. So they really are effective in doing this. This new booster is specifically designed by Biden to help cover the Omicron variants that are circulating now. And things are going fairly well in terms of the pandemic or the recent pandemic, depending on how you want to phrase it. But I think this vaccination is absolutely key to continuing to help people stay safe.
Well, President Stanley, thanks as always for sharing your insights and for your leadership and showing so much class and grace the last couple of weeks. And it's always great talking with you.
Much obliged, Russ. Really appreciate it.
That's Michigan State University President Samuel L. Stanley Jr., MD. You can read his September 2022 Spartan Community Letter that we've been discussing by clicking on the Communications tab at president.msu.edu and follow the president on Instagram at MSU Pres Stanley. And I'm Russ White. This is MSU Today.